Hit it with the.
This broadcast is copywritten by Nelson University Sports Network with private use of our audience. Any other use of the broadcast, pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the written consent of Nelson University Sports Network is prohibited.
Lions Nation, are you ready for some football? Today, the Wayland Baptist Pioneers ride into town to take on your Nelson Lions.
And welcome to Waxahachie here at beautiful Lumpkin Stadium, where again today, your Nelson Lions will take on the Wayland Baptist Pioneers in a crucial mid-season conference tilt I'm Tim Roberts, joined by John Cookman.
It's crazy, man. Are you kidding me?
Filling in for me today as I fill in for Adam Ferguson. So it's going to be a great day here for some big Sooner Athletic Conference football.
Yeah,
really, this is
exciting.
a definition game for both of these two teams.
Absolutely. And I called this, as I started breaking it down, this turns out to be the classic of classic football games. It's a leatherhead game. It's a defense game. This thing's going to look like it was played in 1942.
We'll get into some of that later, but it does feel like the kind of day that we could see 400 rushing yards combined between these two teams.
You have to slow me down, Tim, because I'm a little excited about this game and calling it with you.
Well, first, we got to recap over the last week what happened in the NAIA, broadly speaking, last week. And really, two of these matchups stand out to me most importantly. First of all, you got that huge number 1 versus number 4 matchup between Kaiser and St. Thomas. Kaiser, the number 1 team, gets the 4-point win. But, man, that doesn't do much for St. Thomas rankings, obviously. These are two playoff teams, two teams that could meet again.
Yeah, again, they were in the national tournament or the national playoff system of the NAIA last year, and Kaiser won. I wouldn't say easily, but they had a handy win. They went on to win the whole thing. So they are the reigning national champs. To be expected, they seem like the new Morningside. Is that too much?
Let's wait another year, but they're getting there.
Right.
They are getting there. The other one, everybody's talking about Vandy and Alabama. How about Concordia taking down number 2 Northwestern 29-17?
Yeah, that's
Northwestern's quarterback threw 3 picks, 10 for 21 in that game.
I think that's insane. That is a blip on the radar, a little bump in the road. Northwestern is still a perennial powerhouse. I think they're there in the end. Just my 2 cents.
They will probably be in the playoffs, but that kind of unranked over top 5 upset, we don't see much in the NAIA at all. This week in the NAIA, some other big matchups going around. Number 4 Indiana Wesleyan taking on number 15 Marion. Then the Battle of the Montanas. I love a good Badlands matchup. Montana Tech taking on Montana Western, both of them in the top 15. This is the Frontier Conference. They're like the SEC of the NAIA. They're guaranteed 2 teams in the playoffs, but this is the one you definitely want to win if you're one of these 2 teams. And lastly, another Badlands matchup, North Dakota versus South Dakota, Dickinson State versus Dakota State. The winner is in control of the auto bid from the North Star Athletic Conference, a conference that may be your last chance to win that one right there. So
I think so. I don't know that we're making a bold prediction there, but just the information that we have, it does seem like that is going to be the end of those battles under the North Star banner, at least.
So you always want to be sure to win the last one. So that's where we are, broadly speaking, the NAIA. Let's bring it right here to Waxahachie, where, if you can't tell, it's a little bright outside, but let's get a much clearer picture of the conditions on the field with our sideline reporter, Kiara D'Amato. Kiara, go ahead.
Thanks, Tim. It's currently 91 degrees outside, a nice and bright and sunny day. It was cooler this morning, around 65 degrees, but unfortunately it has heated up as the day has gone on. There's some wind, as you can see, around 13 miles an hour. A little bit of humidity today on the field, but it's feeling nice down here. I talked to some players already. They are excited and ready to be back on their home turf. They're looking to extend that at-home win streak today. It's going to be a good one. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, Kiara. Yeah, I mean, when you get this schedule and you see a nice mid-October matchup, you have this dream that at 55 degrees, pumpkins and fall foliage. No, 91 degrees. Welcome to Texas.
Welcome to Texas. It's not going to happen this year. And I don't know that it's happened in recent memory, at least, that kind of fall game. This is typical Texas fall, I guess. But fortunately for both of these teams, they are used to the heat. So I don't know that conditioning will actually be a huge factor in this game.
And both of them can kind of play into that with their styles. Now we've recapped the NAIA. Let's recap the Sooner from last week. And how about this one? OPSU taking down Louisiana Christian 48-40. Highlight for me running back Jamarian George's day real fast from last week for the Aggies and OPSU.
Well, you know, he's a big-time runner, so he got 162 yards. Anytime you put that kind of number up, you are expecting to win. I think I don't want to go out on a limb. No limbs right now. But I was kind of leaning into OPSU might be a dark horse, and under the radar. So look out.
They exist under the radar up there,
Yeah.
but they play tough. Most amazing part of that, 162 yards, 6 carries.
6 carries, yeah.
That's Randy Moss stats right
Yeah.
there for a running back. Then Ottawa of Arizona took care of Wayland Baptist, who we'll see here in a moment, 42-28. Ottawa, Arizona still in the top 25, trying to stay in that conversation as we get towards the end of the year. Arkansas Baptist loses to Texas Wesleyan, 77-0. Rams, they're just running this show right now.
They really are. Every phase of the game is working. I was on the fence a couple weeks ago about Texas Wesleyan. Number one, because of the big coaching change. And it took some players out of the system. But enough of the really good players stayed. And it looks like they got cohesion and chemistry still there in Fort Worth. And man, that's going to be an epic battle when I think it's next week, right?
It's coming up close when the Lions go and take them on. Yeah, and at the moment, their main goal is get inside that top 10 and embed a home field playoff advantage potentially.
I'm one of those. I'm not an official voter for the NAIA, but I'm voting that Texas Wesleyan deserves at least a number 10.
Yeah, and then lastly, we'll cover this more here in a little bit, but Nelson loses a stinger, 35-29 to the Langston Lions. We'll recap that one for you here in just a moment. But first, let's look at the upcoming week and our predictions. First, Langston going out to OPSU. Looking across the board, I'm the only one taking the Aggies in this one. Everybody else went Langston Lions. What were you thinking on that?
Yeah, so you want to befriend your enemy that is I don't know how that works, but we lost to Langston, so I think we need Langston to kind of beat OPSU before we face them. So it will be at least good game, Phil.
Yeah. Next, Louisiana Christian North American, LCU across the board. No surprises there for all three of us. Arkansas Baptist, Texas College. This is a little bit more of an interesting one. Kind of fighting for, getting that chance at a win. All three of us go Texas College for this one. Honestly, their quarterback, Terrell Hoofkin, putting up video game numbers. They're not getting the wins because of it, but Texas College has a good quarterback, and they probably get the win because of that.
Well, just to add, I think that's a simple pick. That was like a no-brainer for me. Arkansas Baptist has only scored 14 points this year, so they've got some offensive work to do.
Simpson at Ottawa, Arizona. We're all going with our conference mate here in that NCAA versus NAIA battle, and then here today, Wayland and Nelson. Both you and I went Nelson. Kiara, she's taking the heel roll today.
She's the problem child.
Going Wayland Baptist. I think we've all taken turns this year picking against Nelson. We can't just be a homers, but I'm leaning Nelson in this game. We'll break down a little bit more why here in a moment.
Good.
But I think the Lions have a good shot to get back on track today. Absolutely,
and I fully expect that. I think after talking with Coach Hudgens and Coach Blake, there's kind of little to no doubt in my mind that they get back on the rails.
All right, well, we'll be right back here in just a moment to break down today's big matchup with all the stats and info you need right after a word from our sponsor.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
And welcome back to Waxahachie. Let's break down these two teams here today. The keys to victory. First for Wayland. they've got to find a way to slow down the run. It's a warm day here today. They're giving up 193 yards a game. Meanwhile, Nelson, they're averaging 197, and they've got a new quarterback in the mix who likes to run the rock a lot. So they've got to find a way to slow down the run. Keep it under 200 at least has got to be your goal. Second, keep the penalty discrepancy. We talk about this all the time. The Sooner is a flag-happy conference. Not the Pioneers so far this year. They're averaging fewer than 50 penalty yards a game. Meanwhile, Nelson averaging over 90. They're second in the conference. Wayland's last. Play a clean game and get some extra yards that way. And last, third time's the charm, get your third win. They have been stuck at 2 wins for the last 4 years. You need to go ahead and get that third win today. Don't let it get stuck in your head that you're going to be stuck at 2 again all year long. You've proven you're a lot better than you have been. Come out here and get this win. Now, recapping last week's game, the Lions versus Lions matchup, as we mentioned a moment ago, Nelson versus Langston. Is it a heartbreaker? Is it motivational? We'll find out as we go forward. But to recap it, Nelson trailed 21-0 in this game. They scored 29 second-half points. They rally with a Pearson Rougeau 50-yard touchdown run, and they go for 2 to take a 1-point lead. The gutsy call with a minute left. And then Langston returns the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown.
Yeah.
How do you bounce back from that, where it's half motivational, half devastating?
To me, that's an easy goldfish moment. It's another kind of blip on the screen. You can combat that in the locker room if you're Coach Hudgens. Hey, guys, we had a play that we let down. It's a play. Look at what we did to get back in this ball game. A lot of motivation to take from the happenings in that game. Yes, you hate to lose that kind of game. You came back, took the lead. You're on the road. I think that's a forgettable moment, and when you move on. So if you go to now, keys to the game now for Nelson is, for me, 3 pieces. Leverage the run game, minimize turnovers, get better passing efficiency. We need to talk about that a little bit. And then pressure Wayland's quarterback. Wayland's quarterback is on a tear. He is really, really doing well and has good numbers. We're running out of time, so I'm not going to get in a ton of specifics there. But the Kevian Rose, Marvin Sanders is a great 2-headed running combination for Nelson. I think they do the bulk of the work, but now you added a third head to that monster, and that's Rougeau. And he proved in that second half what he could do with his feet. And I think everyone on that side of the ball is very excited to see what happens. It's probably going to be a run-heavy game today. That's why I said it's a leatherhead game. Not a ton of passing. I do think, though, that the passing that will be – it's not like they're not going to pass at all. But he was 2 for 4. So not a ton of data to go by, but at least 50% out of 4 throws. So I think he can pass. It's just going to, when do you choose and Coach Blake McCullough's got to choose the right spots.
Yeah. All right, well, we've heard our thoughts. Let's go down the field real fast with Coach Jared Hudgens. Kiara's with him right now. Coach, let's hear his thoughts.
To a positive in the locker room.
Well, we just talked about staying disciplined. The guys competed hard. We've got to put 4 full quarters together in order to get this thing back the way we need to.
You've got a new QB1. How is that changing your offensive strategy this week?
Well, each of our quarterbacks do something different, and Pearson gives us the ability to be more mobile and spread things out, but also run the ball downhill and do good things there. So just keeping things simple for him. He is a freshman, so giving him good, easy reads to get him going, and then he's an athlete, so let him do what he does.
Last of all, who are some key players on Wayland you're looking to shut down today to secure that win?
Well, they've got a lot of good ones. They've got a really good receiver, Zero. He's pretty solid. The quarterback makes good plays, and then they got a strong running game. They're explosive on offense, and defensively, they're going to make you work your way down the field.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck today. Back to you, Tim.
Kiara, thanks, Coach. Well, the team has taken the field. Let's head down there now for the coin toss pregame player and national anthem. We'll be back with key players in just a moment. Hang with us right here. Share the link with a friend. Get it up on your TV. Get ready for some football.
Stadium in Waxahachie, Texas, for today's Sooner Athletic Conference Showdown. National Anthem. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to make it to the game safely. I pray for the officials and players on both teams for safety throughout the game. I pray for the spectators that they are able to enjoy the game today. I hope you will guide everyone in attendance for safe travels back home, and that we give you all the glory. Because in your name we play and pray. Amen.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
As the team captains make their way out to midfield for the coin toss, let's go over our key players for this game. For Wayland, you mentioned the quarterback a moment ago. Quarterback Davian Guajardo, 915 yards in the season, 3 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. And I know TD to INT ratio has fallen out of favor with some big stat heads. I still like it just on that pure, hey, he's making big plays, he's not making mistakes. Around a
Exactly.
60% completion. How about wide receiver Josiah Barron? Obviously heard Coach Hudgens mention him number 0 in his interview. 15 catches last week. That's a new Wayland program record. Set a program record last week for 156 yards and a touchdown. And last, defensive lineman Caleb Brooks. 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery this week. Wayland has called the tails.
You've won the toss. What would you like to do?
Lions win the toss.
Nelson has deferred.
And they'll defer to the second half. So the defense will take the field first. So there's our 3 keys for the Pioneers. John, who you got for the Lions? Who are you watching today for the Nelson Lions?
All right, well, obviously, the easy mark would be go DeKevian Rose. But I'm not going DeKevian because he's 70 attempts, 390 yards, net yards. He's averaging 5.6. But my real key player there in the backfield is going to be Marvin Sanders. He's starting to get more and more touches. He's got 44 attempts, so just a little over half of DeKevian Rose's attempts. He's got 269 yards, but key stat for him is he's averaging 6.1. Yeah. So theoretically, if you put the math together, you should be able to hand it off to these guys first down, second down, and then you get a first down, right? Yeah. So obviously things don't work out that way. I think that a key player, we've got to keep our eyes on Rougeau. This is really his first big game as QB1. Yep. So a lot of pressure there. How will he handle the pressure? He's really good. He's an outstanding athlete, but will that athleticism transfer over to being, the quarterback of the team, right? You've got to be able to do more things than just run. You got to be a leader in the huddle. You got to do a lot of things. And then, of course, this defense, man, is set off by the three up front and Chavez Garcia and Quavion Mitchell. I say keep your peepers on Xavier Garcia. He's just been going off as of late, and he's got 4.5 tackles for loss so far, 23 yards amassed in loss. He's got a sack and 2 forced fumbles. Did you know the Lions defense has 9 forced fumbles? They only recovered 2 of them. So if they could start recovering all those fumbles that they're forcing, man, it's going to be a big day.
Kickoff is returned to around the 26-yard line on the squib kick, picked in by the 11-yard line by number 14, Brendan Strickland. And so now here comes the Wayland offense, averaging over 36 points a game this year. They've been putting up some big numbers, led onto the field again by Davian Guajardo. He'll start trips right with a running back to his left. Lions showing that 3-man front and putting 2 men on the outside as a shotgun formation to begin, as a handoff up the middle, breaking the tackle up to around the 37-yard line. A decent first down run there by number 22, Keamondre Horace.
That's a fantastic game starter play. When you can run through the defensive juggernaut that we call Nelson defense on your first play, that's going to give you momentum, mental momentum.
Yeah, win every one of those you can. It's tough to win against that front line. 2nd down and 3. Pistol formation, another handoff. It is a handoff. It faked me out a little bit there. We've got flags coming in. Horace is going to be just shy of the first down, but flags in the area of holding, 2 of them, around the 31-yard line. And, yeah, it's going to be holding right there on number 75, Zane and Fletcher. Sam Zaccardo will probably pick up that flag.
Offense, number 75, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Interesting starting off with a penalty like that, because Wayland Baptist is the least penalized team in the Sooner Athletic Conference.
Yeah, literally said it, that they average fewer than 50 penalty yards a game in a conference that is known for having a bunch of flag-happy, aggressive teams. So you erase a first down and have 1/5 of your average penalty yardage 2 plays into this game. Guajardo checks the play at the line, looks to the sideline. Sort of a half trips to the right, lined up just off the line of scrimmage. He's going to keep it this time, back to pass, throwing deep. He's got a man open at the 45, hauls it in, and there he is already. Number 0, Josiah Barron, gets past the Lions secondary down to the 38-yard line. Good job of buying time for Guajardo to throw that pass.
Yeah, this is exactly the go-to for Wayland Baptist. They try to hit you with the big plays. And in our notes, in our pregame discussion, I said there will probably be 2 big burns and then 2 interceptions today.
The Lions have struggled with big plays throughout the year. Handoff up the middle, breaking free into the open field, down to the 20-yard line inside the red zone. Goes number 22, Keamondre Horace. A gain of around 19 yards inside the red zone with a couple of big plays in a row after that holding penalty.
Keamondre Horace is 7.7 yards a carry. He's got 6 touchdowns already on the year. He is going to be the one to stop.
Horace again going to get wrapped up, but fighting for extra yardage. They finally get a hand on him, but he drags him forward for another 3 yards down to the 14-yard line. Gain of 5 on first down.
Yeah, he's the real deal. You can see that he is bouncing off and picking either side of his blocker, and his lateral bounce movement is explosive.
And Guajardo is doing really well on this option look. It is hard to tell up until the last second who has the ball. They are doing a great job of selling that. Shotgun formation, 2 men to his right, 1 down at the bottom of your screen. That is, of course, the man to watch, Barron. And a quick screen out to the right. A whole host of Lions is there for him. The bubble screen does not work. And the Lions defense finally slows them down and gets them to 3rd and long.
Yeah, I was watching some of the mechanics right there before the snap, and Guajardo looks over at Horace, and you could see he shouted something to him. So I think that was a giveaway if obviously the defense was paying attention and just swarmed right to the ball.
They sub out their tight end, bring in another speedster. Keep your eye on Barron on the outside there with 2 receivers to his right now. He has one-on-one coverage. And that's where Guajardo's looking, but he's going to be sacked. Down at the 28-yard line, Ronnie Murphy cuts up the middle and takes down Guajardo for the huge 3rd down sack. And you see putting his hands in his head as a total miss by Horace there. So the Pioneers will line up for what is going to be a 43-yard field goal with the wind in their face. This will not be a chip shot at all for Leo Marini. Kick is short. Up, and that's short. That's not going to make it.
And it was off to the right. So wind definitely playing a little bit of a kicking game factor that we can see already. That was going to be off the mark no matter what, even if it had the distance. Tough field goal attempt. And some great early dynamic plays from Horace, from Guajardo, and the receiving core there. And then you come out with a missed field goal. That is classic definition of missed opportunity.
A couple of big plays. The Lions get 1 stop. The huge sack on 3rd down pushes them essentially out of field goal range as it's going to fall short. So now here is Rougeau on his first snap. He's going to take it to the outside. He has the speed. He's got a blocker up to the 45-yard line. And already you see the dynamic that has him as the starting quarterback for the Nelson Lions today. All sorts of motion on that play, John.
I love the counter play action there. The fake totally got all the defense to bite. And that was a 15-yard run there.
Rougeau with 5 wide, no setbacks. He's going to go right up the gut. He breaks a tackle, and he is gone. 2 runs to the end zone. Oh, he could be caught. I spoke too soon. He's down at the 1.
That was so close. Are you kidding me?
I called it at the 40, and I should have waited a little bit longer, but what a run by Rougeau right up the middle.
That's the difference between your dynamic running quarterback and a true running back.
Nonetheless, what a hustle play to drag him down by Charles Bell, but it'll be 1st and goal inside the 1 for Rougeau. And he will hand it off to Rose. Touchdown, Lions. 3 runs right down the field, and they put up a quick touchdown. We were talking about keeping them under 200 rushing yards. They're at 74 on 3 runs.
We knew it, Tim. It's classic leatherhead type football that's going to happen today. We're going to see a lot of ground yards, and you said earlier on as well, run, and I think that's just the destiny for this game.
Extra point is up and good.
I think so. Let's go back to the big run by Rougeau. Yeah. He's running straight down the middle. You couldn't be that lane. You literally could have driven a truck through. He chooses to go off to the right. He's having to run more yards. Do you run straight?
Did you get the replay right there? Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think this is him identifying where the fastest defender was coming from. But honestly, if he had stayed straight, he was going to get the touchdown.
I think he gets the touchdown.
Because he ended up running into the lane of Bell there to get brought down. Regardless, what a great play call. You line up 5 wide. You force the Pioneers to spread the field. You go right up the middle. As long as you win your initial blocking assignment, then he's wide open the whole way. So 2 runs by Rougeau pick up almost all the yardage, and Rose finishes it off with about a half yard to get the touchdown. So now Wayland, after a big first drive that led to no points, will take back over down 7, and they've got some room on this kickoff. A little bit of a hole there. Dragged down at around the 30-yard line. Number 8, Daquan Green.
Looks like he ran about 45 yards to pick up 15.
That's not the worst equation. I've seen
No,
guys.
no.
I've seen guys run 75 yards to gain 1. I've seen guys run 75 yards to lose 14. So it's
Oh, man.
not a bad equation there. So now back onto the field. A bit of a heavy package here. 2 setbacks and a tight end leading the way.
Yeah, you may see Damon Ford get the ball here.
Hand up right up the middle, and it will be a handoff to the bigger running back Ford. So he'll pick up around 5 yards. There's a little bit of a heavy package. 2 setbacks and a tight end blocking.
I'd like to refer to that as the bowling ball package. Bro, he puts his head down and just runs north.
They succeeded on all of their running plays the last drive. It only fell apart really when the Lions were able to sniff out that screen. They have the same setup here. 2 receivers wide, but it's all bunched up in the middle at the moment. Another handoff to Ford. And this time he's going to be corralled down for a gain of 1 right there in the middle of who else but Joseph Chavez, one of the big key players. They always say don't arm tackle. Joseph Chavez can arm tackle.
Boy, can he. He's got 14 solo tackles, 33 combined tackles, 6.5 of them for losses.
And having 14 solo tackles as a frontline guy where you're always standing next to somebody else, that just shows how impressive he is and how strong he is. Big third down, handoff up the middle. He's going to have to fight for it, and he's going to get there. He was going to be a yard short, but the collision forced him forward. So Ford takes the ball 3 times, picks up 11 yards, and moves the chains.
72, the offensive lineman
he
busts through and says, or 77, and got him.
Julian Leyva, give him the credit for the first down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was going to be 4th and short before he was able to barrel in and force him forward for the extra yard needed. So a fresh set of downs at the 41. We'll go with the new setup now. 2 men to the side of the screen. A man goes in motion. And looks like somebody jumped while he was in motion.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Leyva is the offensive lineman who gets down the field to help secure the first down. He jumps there, though, as the man was going in motion. And 5 more yards brings up 1st and 15. For the Pioneers, as now they go 3 wide. Running back to Guajardo's right. And a counter play up the middle for Ford, and he's going to pick up the penalty yards and then some. Extra 2 and still fighting. Picked up an extra 3 yards after he was wrapped up, so a run of around 8 yards.
Small little detail here concerning the refs. I love that the refs didn't get an early whistle there. Sometimes they react, get an early whistle on first static contact, and they really let that play develop, and Ford was able to get a few more yards out of it.
When you're able to identify a running back who can keep fighting for it, you kind of give him a little bit more time to live. So it actually would be a gain of 10. Bring up 2nd and 5. New play call coming in. The tight end will set up on the line of scrimmage. Man goes into motion, and it's going to be a counter sweep. Hitting the outside. He has the first down and more inside Lions territory. Wide receiver Brendan Strickland will get the jet sweep. And there is a Lion down and another one limping off the field. Checking out of the game is Ronnie Murphy as he is hurt. And another Lion is down at around the 50-yard line. However, there is a flag in. Did not see that until just now.
Foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense. Number 2.
It's coming
Started
back.
the block outside of the tackle box. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So it erases the first down.
Wow.
And how about this? It's so weird to usually see your key fall apart this fast, but 30 yards of penalties now for the Pioneers. And that is a low block. He says he started the block outside the tackle box. You are allowed a little more leeway when you're inside the tackle box, but they're going to rule that essentially he came down low too far away from the line of scrimmage, and it did force Murphy to leave the game. So a big 15-yard penalty on what was a first down will bring up 2nd and 20. They protect guys' knees. That's one thing they try to protect.
Yep. Last time we were in this situation, we saw Guajardo go very deep.
And he's going deep again. He's got a man wide open, and he drops it into the breadbasket to the 15. He's going to the end zone. Touchdown. A 2nd and 20 strike. Brendan Strickland was the one who picked up the first down. That was a race, and he gets the touchdown as the fake reverse dupes the Lions and gets him all kinds of wide open for the 75-yard touchdown pass.
That was a 50-yard throw.
That was a beautiful throw.
In like you said, the breadbasket. Wow.
Dropped it right in and didn't make him break his stride too much to where he was able to pick up his speed and take it to the end zone. Kick is up and good. And so the Pioneers overcome a big penalty and knot this game up.
They would be 3 points ahead if field goal kicker would have kicked his field goal like he just kicked the point out. He kicked that thing maybe 50 yards.
We have a live look in back at the Nelson campus where we have Lady Lions volleyball underway. They are up 2-0 and leading 17-13. Sweep impending, and you look at the standings, a little bit of a runaway with it now, if we dare say it, as the Lady Lions have opened up a 3-game advantage, thanks mainly in part to that huge win over Tex West the other night. Lady Lions closing in on yet another Sooner Athletic Conference championship, another undefeated run through the Sooner. They have just been running that conference as of late. Can't say enough about Hank Moore and the program he has built over there over the last 25 years.
Yes, they've won the last 20 out of 21 sets. If they win this, it'll be 21 out of 22 sets played. I mean, that's incredible. That is just absolutely. They're running roughshod just like Texas Wesleyan is running over everybody in the football.
Kickoff select at the 5 and going to be brought down at the 11. Amin White, the dangerous return man, unable to get any room there and dragged down at the 11-yard line. Now, we talk about that Lady Lions volleyball team, and year in and year out for years, Hank Moore always had a very competitive, very spirited squad.
Yeah.
And in the last 3 or 4 years, he finally has a juggernaut. And they have been dominating that conference, making it to the national tournament. It's been a pleasure to watch.
Absolutely. It's beautiful. They're rotating players year in and year out. There is a veteran core there in defense that we will be sad to see leave, but they truly are a juggernaut in the South.
Rougeau takes another run up the middle, this time for only 2 yards, as they run again that kind of 5-wide look to give Rougeau plenty of space, but the Pioneers stayed at home for that one. They're actually going to mark him down just for a gain of 1. And that'll be a handoff. Oh, no, Rougeau will keep it, and he breaks it again up to the 29-yard line. So early going, Pearson Rougeau is...
It's the Rougeau show.
He's approaching 100 yards on the day already after his 4th carry. He had 73 at the start of this drive. This one he will give to Rose. Rose fighting, and he's going to get dragged down for a loss of 3. That's not where Rose excels, going north and south. Or east and west. He needs to go straight north-south runner. And when the Pioneers were able to string him out here, he was pretty much toast.
It's going to bring up 2nd down for the Lions.
2nd and 13. Just over 4 minutes to play. Puts Colby Tanner into motion. And another run from Rose will go very little. Gain of 2, and Now, obviously, we know their strategy. They want to run, but 3rd and 11 now, you may have to dust off the old the passing play, one of those.
You may. I think they're still probably going to stay within. I mean, it's early, man. We're mid first quarter, well, late first quarter, I guess. But I think they still kind of hang with the run game pretty solidly.
Rougeau's going down, and it's caught but out of bounds. Colby Tanner unable to stay, so a nice throw from Rougeau.
Watch this. This is very close. Tanner he really tries to get his feet down.
He had already established out of bounds. I think the main issue was he'd already been out and had not reestablished himself. Even if he had, it was hard to tell if he got his foot down. But very close, but another big run. At the very least, that run gets you out of the shadow of your own end zone. But it will be the first punt for either team today. And a lot of protection here on this punt. Wonder if they saw something in tape to bring in the 3 guys to defend. Oh, and he's going to try to keep this. No fair catch called for. Breaking out to the 44-yard line, and will give the Pioneers great field position. Daquan Green, the punt return man.
There is a helmet off. I couldn't tell if it was the runner.
So a gain of 13 on the punt return. And it will give the Pioneers their best field position of the day at their own 44-yard line. And so far, really, their offense outside of 2 plays has been somewhat unstoppable. A couple of penalties that have thrown them for losses, but they've overcome those. It's really just been 2 plays. That heavy bunch formation again. Handoff. This time it's going to be the other back. Hurdling for, they're going to mark him down 1 yard short. So
I think that was Horace.
Yeah, Horace and Ford are the 2 backs. Horace takes that one. It's 22-2 out there. And 2nd and 1 in Lions territory. So both teams really leaning into all of their rushing talent so far in this one. A breezy day, but hey,
it is.
You know,
I wasn't expecting that.
It was 90. It's 95 degrees otherwise. Oh, a big hit, but he throws it deep, and it is broken up. What a play from Dylan Kaufman. Otherwise, that may have been a touchdown to Barron.
Yeah, I think we may see one more of those long plays be successful for Wayland, but I think they got their 2, and they got them early. And Coach Hudge, he's not going to tolerate weak secondary maneuvering, and you got to know that they're going to be covering the big play especially hard now.
Handoff up the middle, and he will barrel forward for the first down. They just needed 1. He picks up 2. They actually mark him down to the 44-yard line. So after the big play does not work out, they go right back to the well. Always a good call, honestly. When you're 2nd and 1, you trust your rushing attack.
Oh, yeah.
Try to unleash one and know that you can probably go get it on 3rd down regardless. So a fresh set of downs at the 44. And they keep the 2 set back look with the lead blocking tight end. That one's going to be the Rose. Sorry, Ford. Down to the 45-yard line, an easy gain of 4. Doesn't have to do anything special. Just rolls forward for 4 yards on first down. That's what you could call a successful first down run. As they get past that initial Lions line, that's a fearsome front 3. And if you can get by them, you get to the smaller guys and you're able to barrel forward for a few extra.
I mean, he's averaging 5 yards a carry.
Nobody's averages are suffering today so far, that's for sure. Another false start on the Pioneers.
False start. Offense, number 14. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So that'll move them back to the 45-yard line as they're going to catch Strickland moving too early. So bizarrely enough, penalties have been an issue for the Pioneers, although they have overcome them each time. This will put it at 2nd and 11, though.
So it seems like you're in that you're kind of in that zone that you're either going to pick 2 pass plays to go with now, or you're just really going to stick to the run game.
Oh, they go for the bubble screen. Initial blockers there, but a good reaction time there. Coming in for the tackle, number 30, Xavier Garcia. Now it's just going to be a gain of 2 yards after all that. And now you're saddled with a 3rd and long.
No way this is a run play.
Unless you're thinking you can pick up 4 or 5 on this play and go for it on 4th down. You're a bit of in that maroon zone almost.
Yeah. I just don't have enough data on. They are quite successful on 4th down conversion, but they haven't had that many attempts.
3 wide with the tight end leading the way, and it will be a play action. He's got a man up and over in the middle, and it's delivered perfectly to number 83, Tate Terry. We'll get a check on that as he picks up the 1st down to the 31-yard line. I say that because Tate Terry is listed as their kicker. That will be the final play here of the 1st quarter as the Pioneers get a big 3rd down conversion to end the frame. We're knotted at 7 apiece. Well, now we mentioned the volleyball team earlier as we got a live look in here of looks like that OPSU game. But we had mentioned, obviously, the volleyball team and all the success. There was a record set this week by Tessa Glick. We had previewed it a couple of weeks ago, but she is now officially the all-time digs leader. And I believe this is the dig right here. Or this is her being rewarded at the end, yes.
Yeah.
When she became the all-time program digs leader. Let me see if I got the number right, because, of course, it's a pretty high number.
Yeah.
So what's the number? How many digs?
So she ended with 100, and she blew it away, really, but 164. She needed to cross 141. I'm sorry. Yeah,
2,141.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was assuming everybody knew that it was 2,000. It's a record.
It's a lot of digs. And as I said before, shout out, of course, to her for an amazing accomplishment, but also to all the volleyball stat keepers out there who have to count each individual dig when you have over 2,000.
That's tough.
A school record from Tessa Glick.
I had the pleasure of calling that game last night, and it is, like you said earlier, it is a pleasure to watch that program take the floor.
And we did hear that they did complete the sweep against MacU, so another win. 1st down, going deep, a little bit of miscommunication. Held up a little bit early. Looks like Strickland thought that pass might have been coming back towards him, slowed down, so it falls harmlessly incomplete. And so far, John, you talked about trying to get pressure on the quarterback. They've done a good job of keeping his jersey clean in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, probably the unseen. It's hard to get this in the whole data link of stats for offensive line play. We can see this is a robust offensive line. They are handling business against maybe 3 of the best rushers in the Sooner Athletic Conference.
A counter run there from Horace, and it looked like it was going nowhere at first, but his elusiveness and strength turns that into a solid gain. And as you mentioned, breaking out of Quavion Mitchell's grasp there, not an easy task. Picks up 6 yards, brings up another 3rd down at the 27-yard line. And I would assume after that first field goal attempt, we're probably in 4-down territory.
Right. Also, keep your eye on 22 in the white jersey, Horace. He limped off the field. He's an explosive type of running back. If that gets inhibited in any way, this game could become quite different, because he is definitely the key to opening up space in the backfield for Guajardo to get time to throw those big passes. He's not making very many short passes. Everything seems to be completed beyond the 1st down markers.
Lions will use a timeout to regroup on 3rd down. A big chance here to make a big stop. And And it does look like Horse still over there, so we check in here, and I believe the score is, 7-7, OPSU versus Langston. So everyone's knotted up at 7-7, at least on the scores we have currently available. See if we can get some other updates out there.
I think they're going to call quarterback down. It looked like he accidentally touched his knee while he touched the ball. It was a mishike.
That is one of those things in college football that you see occasionally.
Yep.
A guy going to just grab the ball, and if that touches it all and you're possessing it, you've sacked yourself.
Yeah, you did.
So the Lions will retake the field now, 3rd and 4. And it will be interesting to see what the Pioneers draw up here. They will come out with Ford, as Horace will stay on the sideline. His helmet is off. Isn't really getting any medical attention yet, so maybe just trying to walk off the pain of it. But we'll be interested to see what kind of strategy they approach here, where they try to pick up a few on the ground, or of course they can pick up the first down on the ground pretty easily, as they'll hand it off, and the Lions are going to stuff them up front. As they stuff them, but they roll forward for about 2.5, so we'll bring up a very makeable 4th down, and I don't see anybody moving. They're going to bring in a big tight end, and I think we're going to see a very heavy format here, 4th and 1. And it's right at, it's going to be a long one. The ball is right on the 24 left hash. But they're going to bring in the heavy package here. Guajardo giving the instructions to his offensive line. Got the lead tight end blocker. And again, no Horace out there. So different setup here. He's going to keep it. He's going to throw it, and incomplete.
That was almost an interception.
And it's honestly good they didn't let it fall, so you get the good field position. The Lions did not bite. You see the immediate speed there from Ronnie Murphy. The moment he realized what was up, he put on the jets, forced that pass out too early, and the Lions were not duped at all by that. I'm not sure I would have done that. You're averaging 5.5, 6 yards a carry minimum right now.
I was going to ask you, is this a place where you bring out deception, and because you only have one wide out, somebody could release.
If it works, it works. But, man, when I've been succeeding that much on the ground, I don't know if I would have done that. We got a screen pass here. First completed pass for the day for the Lions. And going out to around the 31-yard line will be Zach Fuller. As Nelson takes over on downs at their own 24-yard line and pick up 7 on first down. Another keeper from Rougeau, as he'll have the first down and a
big scrum.
I was about to say, what I was doing was counting the players outside the pile. There were only 3.
Do the math,
so
yeah.
that meant 19 people were in that pile by the end. So what are those other 3 guys doing? Get in there.
Exactly.
So first down up to the 36-yard line as Rougeau has got to be right on the cusp of 100 yards rushing now. We mentioned on the last drive.
One of the few times we've seen the Lions go back into an actual huddle.
4 wide, handoff, not going to go anywhere. Brought to the down for a loss of maybe 2 on that one. That's going to be Marvin Sanders, so he gets his first carry of the game. As you talked about, you have a 2-headed rushing attack, and now you bring in Rougeau, and it's a Navy setup now. You got 3 guys who all are bent on running.
Yeah, but so that definitely looked like some type of option play for Rougeau to pick, and he ended. Oh my, that was a great reach back tackle.
Absolutely a great play from Isaiah Brooks as Rougeau does the 5 wide move again. If he gets past Brooks, he's got at least 8 yards to go. Not happening. Isaiah Brooks brings that down for just a gain of 2 and 3rd and long coming up for the Lions.
So the you see Rougeau there. I mean, the inexperience is going to show up. So on those RPO type of, and there's not much of the P in there. So it's going to be, do I take it or do I give it to my running back kind of idea? And you could see him looking up, trying to find the hole. He couldn't find the hole for himself, so he gives it off to the fullback in that case, and let your fullback do the north-south work. It just didn't work in that maybe a half a second he held on to it too long. Got to give and that's going to come with experience and time.
You see the stats there, and Rougeau is just 3 yards shy of 100 already. Rose has the touchdown, but it has no yards technically at this point. You saw Wayland use their timeout there. The Lions have come out with a different formation, a very bunched-up formation. Still 4 receivers, but none of them wide. So that made the Pioneers blink a bit and call a timeout. Pioneers so far winning the total yardage battle, and that's because they've gone down the field 3 different times, but with a missed field goal and a turnover on downs, only have 7 points to show for it.
Yeah, I'd like to see time of possession stat for these teams. Clock's ticking pretty fast.
When all you do is run, it's going to happen. So now they'll come back out with 4 wide. They won't be bunched up like they were on the previous setup. No setbacks for Rougeau. He drops back. The pressure is coming. He's going to spin away from it. He's getting chased. He breaks the first tackle. He's going to get out to the 40-yard line. He's going to be shy, well shy of the first down, however, as the Pioneers brought intense pressure and never gave him a moment to set or look downfield.
And that's what you do in that third and long situation. You bring the pressure, especially against the youngster QB, and you just dare him to outrun you. And it looked like secondary had just played enough of umbrella to really take out the danger that Rougeau brings to the grass.
High punt here. It's going to settle down at the 20-yard line, take a Lions bounce, and then stall up right around the 14-yard line. So back-to-back punts for Nelson now after the quick touchdown on their first drive. And the Pioneers will take back over. Again, 3 successful drives from them, but only 7 points to show for it. Meanwhile, the Lions made their one opportunity really count. And what has been a very fast-moving game with a lot of ground action and something we definitely anticipated. The current report on the clock time of possession battle, no surprise, Wayland winning that one 13 minutes to 6 minutes thereabouts so far.
I think a lot of that has to do with the offensive philosophy from Blake McCullough's. It's a hurry-up style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of no huddle, getting back to the line of scrimmage and taking advantage when you can, keeping the defense off their heels. Guajardo going to have to keep this one after the pressure comes in. Picks up around 3 yards on first down. So Guajardo picks up his first rushing yards of the game. Goes to the line and instructs his offensive line of exactly what he's thinking on this play.
It's a good time for maybe give Ford the ball. Yep.
Right up the middle to the 20-yard line, and it will be Ford back out there. Both backs have had success so far, but Horace definitely seems to be the more dynamic of the two, so he's at the moment not on the field.
Well, I said earlier, you see him limping off, and it was not a Charlie horse type limp.
Mm-hmm.
It was a limp that you go, oh, okay, that could be something. Even though he was definitely under his own power,
right.
there was a big hop to how he was coming off, and you usually can tell you're not just going to rebound quickly from that injury.
3rd and 5, pressure's coming, but he's able to get the pass off to Josiah Barron for the first down. Another big 3rd down conversion for the Pioneers. They were facing their first 3 and out of the game, able to pick up the first down and keep the field position in their favor.
Barron is definitely the main target for Guajardo. He's got 33 receptions coming into today, 377 yards and 3 touchdowns. So you can see there is some chemistry there between Guajardo and Barron, and I think you see maybe those short connections happen a lot more as this game moves on.
As you mentioned, they already got some of their big plays, so maybe the Lions have adjusted up top now. Pressure coming to his left, gets it over the field, and just as I spoke, another big play down to the 35-yard line. This time it's Damon Ford, the running back, and there's a flag in the backfield. This could also be on the Lions.
And you can see, well, you lose it right there.
Yeah,
but
a little bit of contact coming in. But an extra 15 after the big play. As Ford, the Lions left him unchecked. They'd obviously been doing a good job of kind of eliminating that deep threat on the last few drives. They didn't see the big running back coming out of the backfield to be the catcher.
Yeah, well, and time kind of intercepted me, but I was going to say the second leading receiver is Ford, and you got to be careful. And I really think that Garcia got caught predicting the wrong play, and he moved forward, and Ford just blew by him.
Horace is back in the game. Good to see that he is okay. Back to pass, throwing in a fade route to the end zone. Just a little bit too high for Barron. It'll fall incomplete. He had the look he wanted, though, that ISO route. And he had enough of a jump that if this had been laid in perfectly, it would have happened. But
it was so close.
That's a tough route to connect on. Bring up 2nd and 10 right at the 8-minute mark left in the half. Trips to his left. His main man, Horace, to his left, and then one wide receiver to his right. And he's going to keep it right up the middle. First down and more to the end zone. Touchdown, Guajardo. He dusts off the quarterback keeper himself and goes essentially untouched until the 1-yard line for the 24-yard touchdown run.
I want to say Guajardo knew that before the ball was snapped. He knew exactly what he was going to do with that ball because he waited the perfect amount of time.
All he did enough of was glance out there enough to freeze the defenders, make sure that no one could predict too early. And as you said, if you win that up-front battle at that point, wide open field. So the Pioneers go down the field thanks to a big third down conversion, a big play, and then Guajardo takes it the rest of the way to take a 14-7 lead with 7:53 left in the half. So the Lions find themselves trailing for the first time in this game now. They took a 7-0 lead on their first drive.
Watch this. You're right. He looked over to the left, eyeing Barron over there, and a little pinch play. Did you see that?
Something else. Horace darts right out of the backfield. So the linebacker who's going to be responsible for quarterback spying has to now commit to the running back as the extra catcher. And so that everything about that play was perfectly well designed and perfectly executed. Special teams getting some last-minute coaching. Don't usually see the kicking team get onto the field that much before the receiving team. So kind of interesting what was being said right there. We'll see if anything unique happens on this kick return. For the Lions, though, big drive coming up after that first drive where you just had 3 home runs right in a row to get that touchdown. Had to settle for back-to-back punts.
Something happened in the last kickoff where Amin White thought something should have developed differently. And, of course, he was tackled right where he caught it. And I think it was his feeling was the front line didn't actually drive what was going to be the defense the right direction. So we'll see. My guess is that's what that chatter was about from the special teams coach.
Got some more confusion. The referee actually motioned the man off the field to bring in a news. So all sorts of interesting intrigue on this kickoff. It's away, and it'll be fielded at around the 13-yard line.
And like most of our conspiracy theories, all for nothing.
all sorts of intrigue, and it ends with a 5-yard kick return to the 17-yard line. So a big drive coming up here. You've not struggled on offense. You've been able to pick up first downs on all of your drives, but you look at your key stat there, 0% on third downs. No third down conversions so far. Every time you've faced one, you've been unable to convert. And so you've really 107 total yards, but 74 of those were on your very first drive. You got to find a way to get back going to it. Rougeau did go over 100 yards on that last drive, but you have to find a second player now to step up and start making some plays for you. Man goes into motion, and it's going to be a flag, illegal substitute, or illegal formation, looks like. Oh, delay of game. Didn't get the playoff in time.
First down.
So I was able to speak a little bit with Coach Hudgens this week and talking about the concerns. His concern for the defense was not whether they could contain the run and the chip plays and were they going to keep them out of first downs. It was stop the explosive plays. And we've seen there's been 3 really big explosive plays. 2 have been scored on and or scored with. So those concerns are definitely a reality of some sort. Now it's just a one-score game.
Right.
So defense doing pretty well against a very potent offense. I do think, though, that secondary has just got to wake up and umbrella more instead of committing front forward to all the run plays. But that's what a dynamic running back like Horace does to you.
So first down was incomplete pass to Holtzclaw, and then Rougeau, the keeper here, goes absolutely nowhere, no gain, and you're stuck with third and very long. Yeah, you mentioned on defense, it's so tough when you have to completely respect the run. You can't just drop back into prevent defense and try to shut them down. They'll just pick you apart 8 yards at a time on the ground. And so when you have a real well-fleshed-out offense like the Pioneers have, you just got to find a way to make big plays, really. So 3rd and 15, Lions in a hole. He's got a lead blocker. He'll put him in motion. And he's going to drop back and dump it underneath to Holtzclaw. He's got a chance. First down. What a play call. You call it the jailbreak type play. You do the play action. You let everybody through. Drop your tight end. You got everybody down, leading down the field. They were lucky. I was worried they might get called for legal man downfield for a second. But
64 was definitely a long way down.
He was hustling. Might have to break that one down to see exactly where he was. But regardless, a big 3rd and 15 conversion. And now Rose barrels forward for a gain of 4.5 on the first down play. That could be a game-changing moment. Back against the end zone, down by 7, 3rd and 15. And you draw up a real nice play to pick up the first down.
That also will give some mental confidence to Rougeau, who is not really the passer's type of QB, but anytime you can get some success.
Oh, what a play by Rougeau. It looks like it was completely blown up, and he's still going to end up gaining right back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like, but at first it looked like it's going to be a big loss as he was surrounded, ducks inside.
Yeah, I think he surprised himself when he got loose from the first grip.
So it will be a officially no gain, bring up 3rd and 5. That was their first conversion on the last play. I'm sorry, in the last sequence. So we'll see if they can get 2 in a row here. Almost 4 wide. And he's going to get brought down for a sack. That play was obviously designed to go to Dekevian Rose in the outside. And it just took too long for Rougeau to look over there. And he did have a man blanketing him. The Pioneers read it well. But after the conversion, they are unable to keep the drive clicking and will punt yet again.
Can't tell if that's a misstep from the offensive line perspective or if the adjustments on the front line defense for Wayland is just getting better.
Sky high punt, fair catch called for and brought in at the 32-yard line. And a lot about that play too, when you pretty much have a pretty clear screen situation, 4 receivers out there, supposed to get to Rose real fast. The moment the Pioneers sniffed it out, the offensive line is not set up in that play to hold long term. They are designed anything to kind of concave in to make sure the running back's going to have plenty of space to run after catching it. Really all credit to the linebacker who read it well, squared up with Rose and made Rougeau hold on to the ball.
Yeah, it was just that there was absolutely no time for Rougeau to make a decision there.
So now it's up to the defense. Really have not made a big stand on. They have not made a big stand on there in the field at all. And immediately on the first play, Ford's going to take it into Lions field position. A 18-yard run on first down.
Watch how he plants his right foot and then juts left. Just super strong run.
Does it twice. Plants it once, fakes him out, and then does it again to get to the outside corner. And so just as I was saying that the Lions defense really, again, every single drive has now gotten into their end of the field. And on the very first play, that's where the Pioneers are. Rougeau letting the clock run. Pioneers had the ball first to start this half, so the Lions will start the second. And a well-read, but Rose is able to break out of it and just go forward for 1 yard.
Forward to number 2, Damon Ford. Tackle made by number 4, Joseph Thomas. It's going to bring up second.
Does a great job of shedding the initial tackle there by Jace Williams. But it will be a 1 yard loss. And again, when you get the ball for start second half, you want to try to keep this a one-score game. You don't want to make your offense have to definitely start second half with a score.
Yeah, I think it's now, on the defense, on the Lions defense to really hunker down. Looks like Wayland Baptist is content with running a lot of clock. So you're hoping good hit.
Ball was overthrown.
It was over his head, so it was contact didn't have to be made before the hit.
Kaufman does a good job of timing it, didn't come in early, so now 3rd and 11. And I said, the Pioneers are willing to kind of run the clock there, but now you're in the situation where if you're the Lions, get a stop here, and I love saying it, you have your shot at the double dip. You're down by 7 right now, and if you can get the ball back and put something together on offense, then you can be looking to take the lead to start the second half, but it has to start here. The Pioneers have been killer on these third downs so far. They've been converting them left and right.
3rd down and 11 has been go long pass over the middle.
This time it's going to be the screen. They've got blockers up front, and he's going to get down to the 43-yard line, 42-yard line, bring up 4th and 3. And at the very least, the math has changed now. The blockers do a good enough job to pick up 8. And, the Pioneers do not blink. 4th and 3 coming up, and it looks like there is 1 second discrepancy between the clock and the 2-minute timeout, so they will have to run a play before the clock hits 2 minutes.
Definitely not living in fear of the Lions offense. So this is kind of what you do. You give it up, like, okay, we can hold them.
Trying to draw them off sides. We'll see if they take they're going to have to call a timeout.
Interesting.
Because you can't. Your ideal situation there is run it right down to the 2-minute timeout and try to get them to draw. But with that 1 second clock discrepancy, they were unable to do that. So they have to use their second timeout now. Timeouts really aren't a factor at this point for Wayland, though. Yeah,
I mean, it is 4th down. So there's a little bit of adjustment in the formula of if it were 2nd down, you could come out, try to get an offside, and you still got some cushion if you don't, But 4th and 3, this is turnover territory, so you really need to get a reaction. I don't think you'll get the Lions to commit to offsides. I'm sure Coach Hudgens is saying that right now. Like, do not react early. That is the unpardonable sin right here.
Guajardo with 167 yards through the air, a touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Horace averaging 8 yards a carry. However, it will be Ford who comes out here on this 4th and 3. Big moment here. If the Pioneers convert, they're looking to go up by 2 scores. If they don't, it could be the Lions going for the double dip.
They're 3 out in this scenario, so much different 4th down scenario or formation for the Pioneers.
Man goes in motion. Snap is off. He's throwing to the outside. He's got his man, and he stood up at the 40-yard line.
Huge hit.
A stop by Jay Mosley. Lays out Josiah Barron. A one-on-one matchup here. Winner wins the play, and Jay Mosley wraps him up at the legs. The Lions will take over with great field position, 1:57 and 2 timeouts. Mark that one in your books as a huge turning point in this game.
Jay Mosley is a big playmaker, and I've heard you guys over the weeks announce his name in those big play moments.
And he stepped up huge there. So second turnover on downs of the game for the Pioneers. So the Lions defense has not been winning a lot early, but they've stood up strong in a couple of those huge situations. Reading the chat, love seeing you out there. Be sure and drop us who you're cheering for, and again, where you're cheering from. We love shouting out where our fans are watching from, and of course all the fans watching from Wayland as well. We love seeing I think we kept track a couple of weeks ago. I swear we had gotten up to around 17 states and at least 5 countries. So I was super hyped. So let's see if we can get those states and countries listed there this time.
That's the bar. 17 states, 5 countries. Also, be specific. Are you in your living room watching on the TV? Are you riding down the road? Are you in the deer stand?
If you're riding down the road, please just have the audio going. That's all we request. Don't be projecting to your screen in your car. The Nelson University Sports Network takes no responsibility for driving and watching. Back to passes for Joe. He's got time and a man over the middle. Fuller's going to pick up the first down to the 45-yard line. A nice connection, and that's the first time Rougeau has had time to think as a passing quarterback. And a first down to the 45-yard line of the Pioneers.
What's our timeout situation?
2 timeouts for the Lions, and they're going to use one right here, it appears. We have a stoppage. It's 2 men in motion at the same time. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty on the Lions. They never officially made the call, but that's what – here comes the call.
False start. Offense. Number 62. 5-yard penalty. By rule, this carries with it a 10-second subtraction. Game clock operator, please set the game clock to 1:31. It will start on my signal.
Lions opt not to use their timeout. They could use their timeout in that situation, but you still got 91 seconds, plenty of time to work with. No point in burning that yet when you may need that for a much bigger situation here in a moment. But yeah, the 2 men go in motion at the same time. So now 1st and 15 right at midfield. It's going to keep it with Sanders leading the way down to the 45-yard line. Regains the penalty yardage. Clock is moving, and the Lions will get right back to the line. And now we're going to see that bunch formation we saw earlier where Wayland used their timeouts. 4 wide receivers, but they're all right on the line of scrimmage. It's going to man roll on the outside. It's going to take it over the middle. It's going to be a flag. Just needs to throw this one away. And that is intercepted. What a bobbling interception. The Pioneers have it. And this penalty, I'm almost certain, is going against the Lions. The referees are going to meet and discuss it. Still no official signal. And the Pioneers do have it.
Is an interception. Holding. Offense. Number 65. That penalty is declined. First down. Wayland.
So a big mistake by Rougeau there. Just needs to get rid of it as the play was not going to mean anything for the Lions. And this is going to be a sea of hands. Throws it batted. Bounces off the offensive lineman, sticks between 2 defensive linemen, and now finally coming away with it at the end is the DB Donovan Henry. So the first turnover on the game is a killer for Nelson.
Yeah, and, that's Rougeau's first major mess up in this particular game. It is just going to be, you got to weather the storm of the inexperience from your QB1 at this point. And to expect that there's not going to be any kind of major infraction committed, I think is a bit overreaching. So he'll learn. That is very, very correctable. If you can get out now without the Pioneers scoring, a field goal or anything.
That's the thing, is at the moment you're in a very big danger zone. The first down run. Yeah, the clock will stop because of this. So the Lions have an injured player, and it is Quavion Mitchell who will have to leave the field. Not who you want out of the game at the moment, but that stops the clock. The Pioneers only have one timeout, so that acts essentially as a free timeout after the run play. So the clock will not be drained like it would have been otherwise. Again, no gain on first down, but yeah, big moments here as you were looking to cut into this deficit, and now you're right back in the danger zone of being down 2 scores.
What do you do here, Tim? Do you pass to try to get yardage without taking off tons of time, or do you just be content with your 1-score lead?
Ball at the 50-yard line, you've got to take a couple of shots, no question. I think they were looking for the big run on first down, but now they're looking over the middle. Oh, this time he's going to keep it up the middle. Lions are quick to react, however, down to the 45-yard line, and not a ton of urgency from the Pioneers. They don't use their timeout. The clock is ticking, so at the moment they appear content with the lead. I'm very surprised at how long this is taking.
Yeah,
way too much time has come off the clock.
You saw QB begging for the play.
And the Pioneers trying to draw the Lions offside. I'm not sure. Pass is complete. He's brought down inbounds. The clock will stop for the first down.
5 seconds. It looked like his knee hit. Yeah, he's inbounds.
He's inbounds, so the clock will stop because of the first down. And now the Pioneers. And so
last time out.
The Pioneers will now use their final timeout, but there's only 5 seconds left. A little baffling right here. Pretty much all you have time for now is a Hail Mary to the end zone. A little baffled by this. Got people watching up in Lubbock, San Antonio. Lots of Pioneers tuning in from all over the state of Texas. Arkansas for the Lions. Phyllis watching in here. Racine, Wisconsin. There we go. That's the current distance leader. That's the current distance leader at the moment. So I'm a little surprised by Wayland's lack of urgency, considering how well they've been operating on offense.
Yeah, I think
they get the first down as well.
The prevailing thought there from a coach perspective is, do we risk this in the air? Because there's always a looming pick six coming at you, especially when you don't feel organized and you're just trying to push one in to get one off. That's when mistakes are made. And I think coaching wisdom, sometimes we'll just go, you know what, if we don't get it off, we're up. There's not a big loss here.
For better or worse, very conservative, to say the least.
Very conservative.
If I was up 24-7, I might think like that. The way I've been clicking, I would at least try to get down the field for a field goal
opportunity. Maybe a field goal, yeah.
But now it's just going to be over the middle. He's going to step. That all she wrote there, so a couple of harmless yards at the end. So the Pioneers, in the first half where they spent it, on the Lions' end of the field, but when it's all said and done, it's just a 7-point ball game. Neither team has ever really been able to establish long-term momentum in this one.
Yeah.
But that's made it all the more fascinating as it's kind of been a play-by-play battle.
I mean, the momentum needle once settled in. So after the quick score by the Lions, in that first drive was established, it felt like Wayland was able to capture the momentum needle. It's not dead even, but it leans to the Pioneers' side. You're getting out of this if you're a Lions coach or fan. You're coming out of this half only 1 score down.
Yeah.
I think you got to be smiling.
a missed field goal, 2 turnovers on downs, and the end of the half because they ran out of time. Otherwise, it could be a lot worse. So the Lions will get the ball first, start second half. Chance to go tie this one up. We'll be back here in a little while with the second half of action. Enjoy some halftime, and we'll see you soon. Oh, we have an interview with Blake McCullough on the sideline. Let's head down to Kiara with that interview.
Coach, incredible first drive today. Pearson Rougeau ran for 73 yards. Talk about his performance so far in this game.
Yeah, he's battling right now. We're in a battle, and we just got to come together all 11 and continue. But proud of his growth this week and this season. Just need to have a better second half overall.
The Lions have been able to avoid penalties so far. Talk about their discipline on the field.
Yeah, that's been a big thing for us. Man, one of the penalties we had coming off delay game, that's unacceptable. That's on me. We'll be better this half, so just proud of their effort in that regard. That's one thing we want to clean up, and we've got to be much cleaner the second half.
Last of all, what's your message to the offense going into halftime to come out with the second half with like a new fire and motivation on the field?
A lot of game left, a lot of things that can still happen. Our defense is going to play continuously hard, and they're going to force a turnover at some point, so just not being too high, not being too low. Just continue to play the second half.
Thank you so much, Coach. Back to you, Tim.
Kiara, thank you, Coach. We'll be back here with second half action here on the Nelson University Sports Network.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better. Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
We are champions of character.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you.
Here is the perfect chicken finger. 4 of them, actually. They're hand battered. They're cooked to order. And made with love. Raising Cane's chicken fingers will make you say, "Oh yeah." Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better. Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take
you. At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better. Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
We are champions of character.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you.
Here is the perfect chicken finger. 4 of them, actually. They're hand battered. They're cooked to order. And made with love. Raising Cane's chicken fingers will make you say, "Oh yeah." Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better. Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take
you. At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better. Your power is unstoppable. And with us cheering you on, there's no limit to where it can take you. Baylor Scott and White Health, the power to live better.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
We are champions of character.
And welcome back to the Nelson University Sports Network as the teams retake the field. The Wayland Baptist Pioneers lead the Nelson Lions 14-7. And look at the stats right there, and whew, you would think it was a bit more lopsided game. Pioneers doubling the Lions up on yardage, 62% third down conversion to 0% for the Lions. Actually, there was one conversion in this, so it'd be more like 10%. But when it came down to the brass tacks of it, the Lions defense, besides giving up all those yards, held for 2 turnover on downs, have a missed field goal, and keep this a one-possession game. We got a live look in here of OPSU leading by 10 over Langston. They haven't even hit halftime yet, so a little bit of a longer game. Meanwhile, Louisiana Christian up on North America 7-3. So, yeah, John, a weird first half.
Yeah, really weird. But I go back, I'll lean into what you were saying about the defense. They gave up a lot of yards, but the most meaningful zone coverage or areas of coverage in that red zone, they really tightened up and did a good job keeping the Pioneers out of the end zone.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously they were in there 2 times, but really big explosive plays.
Yeah, Strickland had the really long, like 74-yard touchdown catch and then a 21-yard run from the quarterback. Short kick is fielded at the 24, and he'll just step out of bounds just beyond the 25-yard line. So, anytime the Pioneers marched down the field, the Lions would end up holding up at the end. If they got them on the big plays, that put them on the heels. But for the Lions offense, they opened up the game with 2 Rougeau runs down to the half-yard line, then Rose punches it in. No points since. Now, they have not had any 3-and-outs. They've always kept the chains moving, but they've not been able to sustain any success. Asking your young first-start quarterback with Rougeau to grow up real fast here in the second half.
Well, Lions have had good success this year in the second half if you throw away the OUAZ game.
Yep.
And
Rougeau going the very wrong way. He's going to spike it. And the referee is going to point to the ground. We'll see
this is going to be interesting. I think.
Are they going to rule he was outside the tackle box because there was certainly not.
It was close.
Now they will throw the flag.
Yep.
This will be intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding. Offense.
Same
Number
result.
5. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. Second down.
Yeah, you mentioned, though, they've had a lot of second-half success, put up 29 last week, but Rougeau on the first play completely wrangled up.
I think that is just a well-based, educated guess by the Pioneers. You got this first-time quarterback, the pressure. Let's just keep bringing the pressure. Make him have to pass. He's a runner, but if we can get him before he gets accelerated.
2nd and 30, and Rougeau is going to go nowhere. Gain of 2 to bring up the slightly more makeable 3rd and 28.
So, yeah, he reaches out. There's no one to hand the ball off to. It's a phantom, and now he just has to make something up.
So
just got to slow down, catch your breath,
Yeah.
talk. That's the one kind of tough thing about the no huddle is everybody has to be on the same page, no doubts. You can't clear it up in the huddle.
3rd and a country mile. Rougeau's going to roll out. He's in his end zone and just going to throw that one harmlessly away. And so the Lions, as we mentioned, it did not have a 3-and-out in the first half because of that disaster on first down. Really, there's no way to recover from that one. And they'll be punting from within their own end zone after a 3-and-out. And the Pioneers, who were able to march on you the entire first half, are going to get really good field position coming up here.
Need special teams to actually be really special here.
This would be a very special punt. The wind is actually at the punter's back at the moment, so won't be any real detriment, but it's not a strong wind at all. Pressure is coming. He gets it off and away. A high towering kick to the 48-yard line. On the return inside the 40, down to the 37. Another decent return from Daquan Green, and so the Pioneers set up at the 37-yard line. Davian Guajardo had 2 total touchdowns on the first half, approaching 200 yards passing, and now he's coming in with his best field position of the game at the 37-yard line. Got that lead blocking tight end, 3 men wide. It's a handoff to Ford. Lions meet him at the line, but as usual, Ford finds a way to fight his way through for an extra few yards, winning all those dirty grinding yards right now.
Yeah, small back like that. He's not technically a scat back, but he can do some of those scat back things like get underneath the tackles and get that extra little dive, which will get you a yard, maybe 2 extra.
34-yard line, 2nd and 7. Hands it off to Ford again. He's going to get strung out, however, is knocked off his feet. Thought he had a second chance there to get around the edge, but a solid tackle there by Amin White, a name we've called a lot for the first 2 Lions home games. Have not called him yet today outside of the unfortunate kickoff, but he comes in and lays down a huge hit for loss and will set up a 3rd and long.
Something that I've noticed about the running game of the Pioneers is that both Ford and Horace do an amazing job getting out of first touch tackles. They extend the play.
Over the middle, has a man open to complete down to the 15-yard line, and the 3rd down magic continues for the Pioneers. Another great throw to Ford, and Guajardo keeps finding a way to get his team out of those tough situations. And these have not always been 3rd and shorts, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11. They are doing a great job of keeping these drives alive, and it's how they've continued to march and put up over 300 yards offense.
Yeah, I mentioned that Ford was not only a running back, but he is looked upon as a receiver. He's the number 2 receiver with 11 receptions, and he's had 3 today. 3 touchdowns.
Bubble screen, he's down to the 10-yard line. Lots of whistles coming in here.
I think they just want to stop play. but he's got 3 receiving touchdowns. So you've got to respect the game of Damon Ford. You think he's going to run. It could be play action and then a scoop just 3 or 4 yards down, and then he extends the play.
2nd and 6. They can pick up a 1st down at the 3-yard line. That heavy formation, 2 setbacks, lead blocker. This time it's going to be to Horace. He's bouncing off a tackle, fighting down, and it will be enough for a 1st down inside the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, and yet another situation where the first touch there at the 7-yard line bounces right off of it, picks up enough for the 1st down.
Give a lot of credit to the offensive line there for the Pioneers. They are moving the front line of defense for the Lions exactly where they want them to be.
Guajardo taking his time, and they're going to have at least 3 cracks at it now with this aggressive rushing attack. Ford fighting his way, not going to have it, still fighting, but they're going to mark him down at the 1. A scrum attack there. Goes down at the 1, and as I mentioned, though, they've got at least 2 more cracks, and I imagine they'd probably be thinking 4-down territory at the 1. So.
I'd run that same exact play to Ford.
It's going to take something special from this Lions defense to keep them out of the end zone right now.
He is so incredibly strong north and south. You just let him put his head down. It'll be much better than any quarterback sneak you could work at. He's going to get at least a yard when he hits the line.
Here's the snap, held up at the line, spinning off and into the end zone for the touchdown. As I said, you're just not going to stop that 3 times in a row. Ford goes into the end zone to finish off the 37-yard scoring drive. And the Pioneers have finally opened up that 2-score lead they've been looking for. Ford from 1 yard out.
That was a really good-looking drive chart there.
Just marching. Nothing fancy.
Most of it done by Ford.
Yeah. Kick is up and good, and it is a 21-7 lead now for the Pioneers, and you can immediately trace that entire drive back to the 1st down play for the Lions. You get thrown for that huge loss on 1st down. Your drive was toast at that point. You weren't able to even get away from the shadow of your own end zone, and the Pioneers have been putting up 35, 40 yards on you every drive, getting the ball at the 37-yard line. They're going to get in the end zone.
It was good to see, though, Keandre Horace back in the game. They only used him once in that sequence. He picked up about 5-6 significant yards for the Pioneers, but I think they were testing him out because he went out hurt. We didn't see hardly anything from him after he limped off, and at least now he's back on. Like, if you're a Lions fan, it's not a good thing to see, but I know that the Pioneers fans are glad to see Horace back in action.
On those score updates there, OPSU opened up a big lead on Langston. Meanwhile, definitely a tighter game between LCU and North American than you would have expected early on. Here's Amin White on the kick return. He's going east to west trying to find something, and it is not there. Unwritten story of this game so far has been the Pioneer special teams on these kick returns. They've had a number of them now, of course, and they have kept the Lions from breaking out anywhere. And so Nelson will take over inside their own 20 again. Mark them at the 19-yard line. So now a very big drive coming up. Again, you keep asking your young players to grow up fast. And after your worst offensive drive of the game, now you come out, you're down 2 scores, really needing something now. Rougeau pitches it out to Rose. Rose is going to get corralled down. Loss of 1. Pioneers read that one perfectly.
Definitely given a different look here. Optioning out to the outside, and we talked about it at halftime. Wanted to see them maybe try to stretch the defense out, at least make them think about more of it than just right through the gaps. And I like that.
5 wide for Rougeau, 4 at the bottom of your screen. He's going to throw it out to Rose and never had a chance. Drop, but it would have been a loss of 4 had he caught it. The Pioneers defense has been completely blanketing everything the Lions have thrown at them over these last few drives. And very quickly at another 3rd and long situation. They go with the bunch look. 4 wide receivers all crowded around the line of scrimmage. Rougeau, he's got time to throw. Now here comes the pressure. Breaks the tackle. He's got a man deep downfield. He's going to drop it off to Fuller. First down and more. Fuller up to the 42-yard line. Credit to the offensive line, and then Rougeau escaping when he had to. Fuller slips in to an open space, and Rougeau connects for the huge 3rd down conversion.
Rougeau does such a great job once he is touched, being able to slip laterally outside of those little sandwich situations.
Rose picks up a couple to the 45. He's found very little running room so far in this one. All the big runs have come courtesy of Rougeau. Need to find a way to get him more involved in this one. 3 wide, got the lead blocking tight end underneath. Man goes in motion, and it's going to be a quick screen to Tanner. He breaks a tackle at the 45 up to around the 49-yard line. And that was something else we talked about, getting the wide receivers involved on handoffs. It's, obviously Rougeau isn't at the point yet that he's going to be throwing deep passes. Player. Clock will stop for an injured Pioneer. Caleb Brooks will leave the field. Now 3rd and 3 at the 49-yard line. 3rd, and it's a short 3, more like 2.5. So anything you can do to get it into your speedy wide receiver's hands, and as you said, force Wayland to respect everything again. Spread back out, and that's where you can attack them up the middle with Rose and Rougeau.
Yeah, you definitely sent that play in via text to Coach McCullough because you called it, man. I want to see more jet sweep.
3rd and a long 2. Lead blocker in motion, and a mishap, but Rougeau, he's going to be just shy. That was supposed to go to Rose, I think, and he ended up on the wrong side of Rougeau. You'll see it here. It was hard to tell who was supposed to get that either way. Rose.
It was that happened in that first play set.
Yeah.
He goes to hand it off. There's a phantom there, and he's like, well, I just got to move forward.
And the Lions will huddle up. It's 4th and 1. I thought Rougeau may have gotten about a half-yard more, but they will mark him at the 49 of the Pioneers. Huge 4th and 1 here. Rougeau puts the fullback in motion. And he's going to be thrown for a loss. He has to find a way to keep it alive. Rolling out to his right. There's no one to throw it to. He's going to have to get rid of it. And it is intercepted, incomplete. Won't really matter. It's not going to go the Lions' way, as this play was blown up from the start. A whole host of Pioneers, led by Isaiah Brooks, crashed inside, never had a chance to hand it off or run, and a killer turnover on downs. Well, exactly. All you can do is shrug right there.
Yeah.
Your offensive line giveth and taketh away. It's what allowed you to convert that 3rd and long earlier in the drive, but got absolutely dominated up front there. And the drive peters out, so a must-stop situation for the defense now with another short field. Horace, the gain of around 1 to midfield.
The Pioneers coaching staff to be credited, because they're just guessing right on these big plays, these terminal plays, the 3rd and 3s, the 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s. They just guessed right every time.
Yeah, they've been sending it all really well, because that's one of those, if you had drawn up the jump pass to the tight end.
You may score on it.
Yeah, exactly. But they've been, a lot of this really is guessing what cards your opponent's holding, and they have been dialing up all the right looks on the Lions. And they are looking to try to take complete control of this one as the 3rd quarter. Oh, a little bit of a drop snap. He's going to look deep, and it's going to go over the head of Josiah Barron. Guajardo does a good job of regaining his composure, and double team, though, not a whole lot of places to put that pass. Now another 3rd and long. This was the conversion they made on the last drive. Had the Lions been able to hold them, it would have been a lot more interesting, whether they tried the longer field goal or decided to go for it on 4th. And a must-stop situation here. You can't find yourself down 3 scores. 3 wide, running back to his left, Guajardo. Steps back, tries to find the quick pass. He's got the screen underneath. He's going to pick up a couple of yards, fights for more, down to the 43-yard line, and it's not going to pick up the first down, but yet again does enough that they're going to stay on the field. At first, it looked like the Lions might bring them up for a loss with Chavez, but another great job by Ford to fight forward for it. They'll put him at the 44, so actually the Pioneers are not going to go for it. They're going to bring out their punting unit on 4th and 3 at the 44. We've seen them play conservative so far.
Yeah,
and
you're up two touchdowns. So
you trust your defense in this situation. Obviously, I trust your running back to pick up 3 yards on 4th down, but also you haven't given up a touchdown since essentially
the first series of the game.
Essentially the second play of the game.
Yeah, true.
Rougeau took the second run down to the half-yard line. Of course they were going to score then. So your defense has stood strong since then. So try to pin the Lions deep and trust your defense to get the ball right back. Lions play it safe, won't bring a rush just in case they were thinking about faking it. It's going to bounce. Take a Pioneers. Oh, what a coffin corner kick. Put it inside the 1-yard line. Perfectly placed. And you always love seeing a punter hyped going to the sideline. Braden Welch does a perfect job.
That may have wound up on the inside of the 1.
Let's see here. This is bouncing. I think it was going to go out of bounds regardless.
Yep.
But a heads-up play. Amazing play, actually, by Logan Mennel. He was getting high fives because even if the ball had gone out of bounds, if it goes out of bounds at an angle and still in the end zone, that would have been a touchback.
Yeah.
If it had touched the pylon at all. So 99.5 yards to go. Nelson inside their own 1. Rougeau just keeps having to face a brand new situation each time on the field. He's got 3 wide, running back to his right. Handoff, try to get something. He's picking up the yards they needed. Nice quick run by Marvin Sanders to get up to the 9-yard line, and you absolutely had to have that.
I remember you made a note that we'd like to see Sanders with the ball in hand a little more, and he's a dynamic running back as well.
When you have a running back, a quarterback like Rougeau who's so good at running, you want to get this three-headed attack going. 2nd and 2. Option play out to Sanders. Gonna go nowhere. Just lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage there, as he was completely surrounded at the 3, really his 2-yard lines when he collected it. So was able to fight for just enough to not lose yards. 3rd and 2 coming up. Definitely don't want to be punting from your own end zone. Obviously, you want to go get some points to get this back to a one-possession game, but you got to start here. 3 to his left. Rougeau up the middle. He'll be
close,
right at the line. It's hard to tell from this vantage point.
Yeah, it's going to be where does the ref pick?
Where do they put it? And
it looks like he got it, but it's inches.
They're going to say just inches.
They're moving sticks.
Oh, now they're moving the sticks. Wow, okay. The initial indication was 4th down, but they don't bring the chains out for a measurement. They're just going to go ahead and give it to them. Fresh set of downs up at the 11-yard line. Had to fight for every inch of it. 5 wide for Rougeau. He's going to fumble the ball and lands on it himself. Near disaster, but Rougeau cleans up his own mess. And that looks like it just kind of popped out. I don't think anybody even forced that.
Yeah, that's, you're carrying a loaf of bread. A little too confident. And again, he's not a true running back.
And trying to do a lot. You need to try to do a lot right now and really looking for that second move. Rougeau gets up to around the 20-yard line. We'll bring up a 3rd and 2. So you see them attack the edges some, and now they have a better shot at attacking the middle again. Another 3rd down, as this quarter has quickly run out on them almost, though. It's down to just over 2 minutes to play. Clock is not a factor in this one yet, but if you don't pick up a score on this drive, it could quickly become one. Three to his right. Lead blocker, and Sanders is going nowhere. Yet again, the Pioneers in your mind right now on these 3rd and 4th down plays.
Well, they're just bringing so many up to the line that it's just a numbers game at this point. Everybody's coming. You're bringing the house every time. And it's a big ask for this offensive line.
And it's something as well when you have a quarterback who's very athletic but still unproven with his arm. You can bring that pressure and say, even if this happens to be a pass play, we're going to trust that the pressure is going to disrupt. Oh, the ball rolls in. Ryan Smith has to just – what a kick.
Yeah, that was an incredible kick.
Yeah, that was crazy from Ryan Lewis. After that rolls in, kicking from his own 4, unleashes a must-have punt down to the 24-yard lines where they're going to mark it.
Well, this Lions team was a heavy pass offensive line trained team.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew they had running backs, and you let your running backs, your passing game opens up your run game. But now it is 90%. It is not hard to guess what the Lions are going to do on offense. And there's just Blake McCullough's got his work cut out for him, but they have to figure out how are they going to execute plays that will move the ball forward on a consistent manner.
Guajardo keeps it. Late flag comes in. We'll see what this call is.
Yeah, at 71, I think with a hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 71.
That's what it
10-yard
is.
penalty.
Yep.
First down.
And you talk about the difference between a passing and rushing offense. Obviously, you can look at the stats and say, oh, so-and-so is averaging 7 yards a carry. You always just say, well, you'll just pick up a first down every 2 plays. Obviously, we know it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But a rushing offense does require continued sustained success. A passing offense can be a baseball hitter. You can bat 300.
Yep.
But as long as you succeed on one of the very 3 plays, you're picking up first downs on those successes. As a rushing attack offense, you have to succeed at least 2 plays out of 3, if not a minor bit of success on every play we saw in his last 2 drives. They had some nice successful runs, but the moment they had a loss of 2, the drive was over. Guajardo, counter handoff to Ford. He's going to fight his way forward. Another flag comes in. 2 flags come in the area of holding again, but we will definitely wait for the call.
Holding.
75.
Offense. Number 55. Half the ball down.
So the Pioneers come out with back-to-back holes to put them in a bit of a hole.
Yeah, I think it was on 75, not 55, and he's questioning it. But there was a big hold around the ball, so it doesn't really matter.
I just saw 75 go and pat 55 on the chest. Like, hey, man, it's okay, because he may know that's exactly what
that's
happened.
what happened.
So the clock will roll again. There's 1 second discrepancy, so the Pioneers could let this go to the 4th quarter.
And why not?
And they will, yeah.
I mean,
They've been running this entire, especially when looking at 1st and 27. Go ahead and make the clock your friend. So that will be we haven't actually technically had a recorded play on this drive yet. 2 penalties, but that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. The Wayland Baptist Pioneers lead 21-7, 15 minutes to play.
Well, now you have the slight breeze to your back. That always has to feel good. I mean, there was just no reason to try to get a playoff there.
So a chance here, though, for the Nelson defense. If you can make a big couple plays here, get the ball back, good field position, you can get right back in this one. Well, our next broadcast will be November 2nd, which is homecoming weekend. And there's another pretty big thing happening over homecoming. The official groundbreaking, you see it there, the Judah statue is now established at the Lions Athletic Complex, and the ribbon cutting, not groundbreaking, ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
We're done breaking ground. The ribbon cutting officially of the Lions Athletic Complex with those gorgeous baseball diamonds, the football/soccer field. That will be at 11:15 on Friday, November 1st. So if you're in the area, you want to come check that out, get a selfie with the Lion statue.
Judah has finally found his home.
He's been moving around campus a lot. I've taken a couple of trips out to the Nelson campus, and each time I come down, I'm like, oh, he's over here now. I like to imagine that at night he comes alive and roams around. That's where my imagination goes.
Yeah.
Regardless, beautiful campus
I
out
do
there.
think the plan is at night he will be lit up. There is some underlighting that I've seen in that brick I guess a foundation that he's standing on.
A great addition and a lot of school pride out there with a lot of these games being played at the Nelson campus here in Waxahachie. Handoff on 1st and 27, just trying to get their way away from the shadow of their own end zone. We've seen the Pioneers play very conservatively so far. I can't imagine they're about to uncork anything crazy on this drive. Keep the clock moving and try to get the field position back in your favor. You know, I didn't get a chance to talk about this the last game, but it's a pretty fun fact that the reason that obviously this university has the nickname Lions is not just because they picked it because a lot of people do. It's that one of the vice presidents back in, I believe, the 40s had a pet lion named Judah the Lion, which is just crazy to think that you used to be able to own a pet lion in Texas. Oh, a bobbled snap, throws it off his back foot to nobody. The referee's looking at where the ball landed and back at the line of scrimmage. It looks like he's going to think about it for a second, but they are not going to throw for intentional grounding because that was to nobody for certain.
Yeah. That would be a kind of weird intentional grounding.
We've seen a couple of them called around football over the last few years where they started doing that more and more on the long throwaways. Used to be intentional grounding was just throwing it, right at the feet of someone. But this is clearly, Guajardo's not really looking at anybody at this point. What he's looking at is Quavion Mitchell about to level him and just sort of flung it downfield. Now, usually you give him the benefit of the doubt if you're throwing deep downfield that it's, to somebody. That didn't land near anybody. Brings up 3rd and 21, 14-14 to play. Imagine the Pioneers are going to play it safe here, and it will be a delayed handoff. And I say play it safe, but whenever Ford gets the ball, it's not safe for anybody. He picks up 12. But exactly what the Pioneers are looking to do and get back to the original line of scrimmage and avoid a disastrous field position switch.
They're doing such a great job at just the patient game after the ball is snapped. All the running backs, the quarterback there, was in control of the delay. But I've noticed that Horace and Ford both wait on the offensive line to develop the play before they head first hit the line.
Which you have to have an offensive line you can trust to do
True.
that. Here comes Amin White. He breaks away from one tackler, but not really going to net much. Worth noting, the Lions defense, obviously, when you see the final yard stats of this game, and we're not even close to the end yet, it's going to be a lot of yards. But we talked about in the first half some of the big stands and the key moments. On these last two drives, down by 2 scores, in a situation where you cannot give up another point if you want to get back in this game, the defense has now thrown 2 3-and-outs out there. So the defense has stepped up huge on these last 2 drives, very much aided by 2 holding penalties on the last one, but good to see that from your defense. Now it is up for the offense to get back on its feet. Nice crossing pattern, open over the middle, down inside Pioneer territory. Jet Smith, a name we have not called yet in this game. He's going to get out of the robber zone untouched. And a nice pass from Rougeau.
16-yard pickup there.
Might be their longest completed pass of the game. Now Rougeau's going to keep it around the corner. He gets one blocker up front and picks up a couple of yards.
Good solid 3.
Again, what you need on a first down run, you need a couple of yards to at least get you going. And it will be right around a 3-yard gain, so call it 2nd and 7.5. Lions in no hurry yet. No need to panic and, rush this. Rougeau, time to throw. Throwing it deep. It's a wobbler, and it's almost intercepted and almost caught. Zach Fuller almost came back to steal it out of the hands of Marcus Wright. Wright is the one who gets the initial bead on it, but it falls incomplete and brings up a 3rd and 7.
Rougeau stepped right into the oncoming traffic, the defensive traffic that was there to get him, and I'm sure maybe the impact from the hit shortened up that pass quite a bit because he reached back to throw it.
He put everything he had into it, but there was definitely a lot of pressure around him. Couldn't get the full arm swing. 4 wide for Rougeau, 3rd and 7. Drops back. He's got time to throw. Now he's just going to have to take off with it. And loses 2 yards on 3rd down. And the Lions will have to punt. And again, Rougeau has time here, but there's nowhere to go with the ball.
Rougeau completes one to the you didn't see it there.
I saw referee. I saw at the end he kind of tossed it out, and the ref did not have his hands up. A little bit of frustration from Rougeau, obviously. Again, they have not been tested, but the reason why the Pioneer secondary has not been tested is because they have a giant red blinking neon sign saying, "Don't you dare test us."
Yeah.
They are locking down all these Lions receivers. Anybody who's been open has been like on a quick crossing pattern like that or a bubble screen. All these guys going downfield, not a room to move. Looking at some of the score updates. Start of the 3rd quarter, OPSU up by 17 on the Langston Lions. dark horse for maybe about a week more. And if they pull off another win or two like this, you can't call the Aggies a dark horse anymore.
I don't think so. I mentioned it in pregame show that OPSU has a little something going on for them that we haven't seen in a while. And they are posting some numbers, just great stats from game to game. Lost a close one and now put up 3 wins.
3-1 in conference, looking to go to 4-1 against Langston. 4th and 9, Lions will line up to punt. And Ryan Lewis will punt it away. He's going to get hit. Punt will go out of bounds, and we'll see what the call is. Roughing would obviously give you a free first down. Running gives you a 4th and 4, and down by 2 scores, I think you go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see on what the actual call is. No movement yet on either sideline.
Running into the kicker. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So the Lions will accept. Brings up 4th and 4. And the Lions offense is huddling back up.
They're keeping 50 on the field, which is kind of the giveaway.
Yep. I saw Holtzclaw check back in, and here they come. So the 5-yard penalty changes the math immensely. 4th and 9, you're probably not converting. 4th and 4, you reopen the entire playbook. So here comes Rose and Rougeau. They bring out some real big blockers this time around. 2 men spread well out wide, tight end blocking, chance to make the Pioneers pay for the penalty. Rougeau is going to go for the hard count. Pioneers don't even blink. 11:31 left in this game, 4th quarter. Rougeau steps back a little bit closer. He's only got 4 seconds on the play clock. Here's the snap. He's going to keep it. Finds a hole, but he's not going to get there.
A little too light. He got 2, you need 4, you need an extra 45 pounds.
Yep. Yeah, you hit that hole as fast as you can.
And he did it as good as you could ask him to do because he hit that hole hard.
He went to the corner and was looking for that first gap, knew he had to take the first one he saw, but doesn't quite have the strength necessary to break through. He's only 5'10", 180 pounds. Yeah. So the Lions go for it on 4th down after the running into the kicker penalty.
Hey, could we borrow Damon Ford for just a down?
Oh, that's where, Rose has not been clicking for you today. That's where Dekevian Rose would usually be able to get those few extra yards for you. Speaking of Ford, here he is, bouncing and bowling his way around the outside, picks up around 2 yards up to the 42.5-yard line. And the Pioneers have been very methodical all game, and they have set into a new level of patience and method in the second half as the clock is now officially on their side in absolutely no hurry. If anything, already in a little bit of running the clock out mode. I think they understand how much the Nelson offense has struggled, and they know if they get this down to 8 minutes or so with a 2-possession lead, they've got to feel real good about where they are.
It's just doing the math.
Up the middle for a couple of yards. Another nice run from Horace. And, we're not up here counting each yard after initial contact, but both Horace and Ford have been dominating on that front.
Yeah, they shed tackles very well, but even if they don't shed it, they seem to drag you for another 2 at least.
Yeah. 3rd and 3 at the 47-yard line as the clock ticks under 10 to play in the game. 3 wide shotgun. Horace to his left. And a timeout right before the play clock expired.
Wayland. Their second.
Pioneers will use their second timeout of the half. So something to keep an eye on for this game. If this game were to happen to get a little bit more interesting, if the Lions are able to get a score here in a little bit. Looking ahead at the upcoming schedule for Nelson, they travel next week just up Highway 287 to take on Texas Wesleyan. That is going to be a tough matchup against the Rams. Before then, they travel to take on North American, and then they return home for a homecoming against Louisiana Christian. So this is a you still have 9 minutes 53 seconds to try to get back into this game, because then you know what you have coming against you next week against the Rams. This is one you want to try to find a way to steal if you can make a stop here on third down and finally get back down the field on offense. We got the San Antonio Wayland campus watching. So we got all the Wayland campuses tuning in. Love to see it. Love the school pride from across the different campuses. Shout outs to all kinds of players. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Big third down coming up here. Lions definitely need a stop. Handoff, and he stays on his feet. You could not illustrate what has worked for the Pioneers so well today more than that. As Horace appeared to have been dragged down, and that's one, if you watch enough Nelson football, you know you don't break those tackles very often. These guys are great tacklers, but Horace fights through the initial leg tackle and picks up the first down, and that will keep the clock marching, and yet again, put the football into Nelson territory. That last drive for Wayland with the 2 penalties in a row is the only drive they have had in this game that did not cross midfield. It's astonishing they only have 21 points. Handoff to Horace. A little bit of a scrum, like the ball may have come loose, but no such luck for the Lions. Will be a loss of 1. Not something you've been able to say often going against these 2 running backs. Actually, it was closer to a loss of 2, but they will mark him back to the 50. Yes, it was a full loss of 2. Yeah, the yard discrepancy is definitely much bigger than the point discrepancy. To where the Lions, they're still very much in this game. If you can go get a defensive play, obviously we heard Coach Blake call for the turnover at halftime. We haven't seen it yet, but I wouldn't go against his prediction. So the defense needs to be looking for a big moment here to try to steer this one away. Ford with a heavy run down to the 46-yard line will bring up 3rd and 8.
Well, you had mentioned that the Pioneers seem to be settling in on the conservative side of play calls, and it's going to be hard to go get that turnover if you're just handing it off to Horace and Ford.
Yeah, there will not be any risky throws coming from Guajardo. He's only thrown 2 picks all season, so you already know he takes care of the ball. And, man, I would like to find the person in this building who can strip either of these running backs. There's the throw. Oh, and there it is. Just as we're saying, no risky throws. Well, that wasn't risky. That was perfect. A dime to Josiah Barron after he had the monster program record game last week. He comes up with the huge 3rd down conversion down inside the red zone as the Pioneers are looking to put this one away. A quiet 6-catch, 75-yard gain for Barron. He has made it count every single chance the ball has come his way.
I mean, White just missed time to jump on that. I thought he was going to have a chance to tip it out. It was floating just a little bit, but missed time to jump.
Ford, and it looks like a stack of dominoes going down as he plows through the middle of the field. Everyone just getting knocked back.
So it's a bowling ball and the bowling pins,
it's
just kind of
exactly what it is, yes. 3-yard gain. And most importantly for the Pioneers, not only on the verge of putting this to a 3-score game, they have run at right around 5.5, 6 minutes of clock off on this drive. Are putting the Lions in a situation where even if they were to make a stop, they are running out of time in this game. Hand off to Ford. He's got the edge. He's going to fight his way there. and goes down at the 4-yard line. Flag comes in.
Right on the one-on-one play. I don't know what it could be. It didn't look like a face mask.
I didn't see one from this vantage point. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it may be a face mask on
back.
Ford.
Yeah, it's coming back 10.
So that should be a first. If it happened in the play, it won't be the first down because it happened in the course of the play. So not one you see
Personal
very
foul.
often.
Face mask. Offense. Number 2.
10.
15-yard penalty.
Oh, 15.
Second down.
So it'll be 15 yards from the spot. So it'll move it back to the 18. So essentially 19. So they will lose essentially 2 yards off the initial. Yeah. So there'll be 2. So it'll only be 2nd and 12 because it is a spot foul.
It was more than just hands to the face. There was a jerk that happened.
And part of that was
down.
because he slipped and fell. Exactly. He got his hands in there and then slipped.
Yep.
So what was probably going to be the run to put it away, the personal foul gives the Lions a little bit of life. And the pass is overthrown for Barron. So here comes 3rd and 12. Ball at the 19-yard line.
One thing you can say about the consistency of Guajardo is that there are no underthrown balls. Everything's over. You got to go get it.
Yeah. And
that's why he's not throwing.
That's why you don't throw interceptions. Yeah, overthrows are almost never going to lead to picks unless you're throwing 40 yards down the field into double coverage. Underthrows are what get intercepted. So if you are a quarterback who, if you err on that side of things, that's how you get such a great touchdown-interception ratio. 3rd and long, though. Guajardo going to keep it. He's going to go down for a loss at the 20-yard line. And so the clock will continue moving. This is where it's going to be a little bit longer of a shorter field goal than they had earlier in the game. This is actually a pretty big kick right here. Obviously, the clock's about to go under 5. You make this, it's a 3-possession game, and you've pretty much sewn it up if you're the Pioneers. If you can't make this, Lions are still in this.
He's more than capable. We saw him on the extra point, and he can kick well beyond this point.
30-yarder, it is up, and it is good. Right down the middle, and Leo Marini delivers what may be the knockout field goal of this game. The Pioneers took over at their own 42-yard line, and a methodical, nearly 8.5-minute long drive eats up over half the fourth quarter and then delivers a 3-possession lead. What were you saying earlier? Leatherhead football?
Yeah.
That was Leatherhead football.
It's 100%. We kind of knew it coming in just based on the Lions personnel and then seeing we knew the passing attack was real for Wayland, but they also have 2 just dynamic runners that show up. And if you got it, you flaunt it, is what they say. And the passing game for the Pioneers is formidable, but it's not overpowering. They just do it well the few times that they do it.
Yeah, you have to identify what kind of game you're in, and they have known all day. Amin White breaks the tackle. Oh, he goes to the outside.
He's got
a chance. He's going to be caught from behind, but not before he finally breaks it out. Amin White, every chance he gets, you have to keep your eye on him. He is such an electric return man. So he will set Nelson up at around, looks like they're going to mark him at the 48-yard line. So in Pioneer territory, must have stepped out a little bit earlier there.
What would a jet sweep look like to number 5 there?
You know, I literally don't know what the rule is on this. Your quarterback is number 5.
I know.
I literally don't think you are allowed to have.
I agree.
I think we need a number change for Amin White if Rougeau's the new starting quarterback, because I want to see White get some more touches. Rougeau having to run for his life, and lucky that was just a loss of 1. And a late flag comes in here.
A body went flying. That was Caleb Brooks, I believe. But
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 65, 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
Yeah, you saw it there on your screen. Looks like it's a little bit too much contact going to the sideline. And so erase, you lose a yard and then really erase all the great field position you had. And you wish this wasn't the second and 25 plus you faced in this game, but here it is. Under 4.5 minutes to play. Three wide for Rougeau. Oh, he almost loses his footing. Regains it, throws it out, and that's intercepted. A lazy throw into the middle of the field and taking it back to the 20-yard line. Tyrone Morgan with the put-away pick. And that's going to happen when you're facing 2nd and 27.
Pass intercepted by number 2, Tyrone Morgan. Tackle made by number 14, BJ Clark.
Rougeau sort of just picked a spot on the field and threw it there.
He picked the spot where no one was. There were 4 purple jerseys around within a 10-yard frame, but he nailed the bullseye in between them all.
And that's one of those that in a situation like this, you know where you are in the game. You're just trying to make something happen. A little bit of a frustration pick. But we know that's not one he's going to make very often because he's been in that exact situation running for his life at least 5 times in this game, and he did not throw that.
I think he did see a lot of purple down there.
Yeah,
so
just throw it in
somebody
there.
Come help.
And hope that something emerges. Wayland taking over at the 20, looking to put a cherry on top of what has been a slow-rolling, dominating game. A game where, obviously, they were only up 14-7 at the half, and then they took a quick 21-7 lead thanks to a quick start in the second half, but then a lot of nothing in between. But really, after they tied the game up, they have never not felt in control of the game. Even when it was 7-7, you just had this sense that they were the ones inflicting their will. And if not for a missed field goal, a couple of turnovers on downs, this would have been out of hand a lot earlier than a final put-away field goal a couple of minutes ago.
Came up to number 2, David Ford. Tackle made by number 3, Jonathan Blue. That was good for a Pioneer first down.
First down, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. For the Pioneers, this is going to break a 3-game Lions winning streak in this all-time series. The Lions currently lead at 8-3. It'll be 8-4 here in just a few minutes. The last time the Pioneers won was all the way back in 2019. The teams did not meet in 2020. Couldn't make the schedule work on that weird.
That was a weird year.
Weird 1 or 2 games in the fall.
Part spring.
I will never forget calling March football in this stadium. That was such a surreal experience. With Nestor Higuera kicking.
Probably will never happen again in your lifetime.
Look, there's only one reason why it happened, and it certainly better never happen again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Unless, hey, somebody wants to pay me to call some XFL in March. I'll do that as well. But no college football in March anymore. Yeah, so all time, the Lions lead 8-3. All time, 2-minute timeout, 2nd and goal from the 9. The Lions had a 3-game win streak between 2013 and 2015 and have a 3-game win streak now, but it will come to an end today. So we check in. Langston has closed that back to a 10-point game. Oh, we got somebody watching from Rosemount, Minnesota. I'd have to pull out the atlas because Racine, Wisconsin was my winner before. Off the top of my head, I have no idea which is closer miles-wise.
It's going to be close, yeah.
It's going to be a tight call out there to the Midwest. Lots of folks tuning in. We love to see it. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast here today. Louisiana Christian, 17-3, a little bit tighter than we would have expected for them in North American. got another Amarillo, Texas. I've driven to Amarillo. That may actually be further away than Minnesota. So,
Yeah.
feels longer. Feels longer to drive out there.
Yeah, no joke. I think from Longview, Texas to, was it El Paso, is longer than from Dallas to Chicago. Think about that, man.
We got it. We this is why you have a great producers in there. Rosemont is 951 miles from where we are right now. Racine wins at 1,015. It was literally within 60 miles. That's crazy. It actually
was close.
Down to a margin of error at that point. So Racine, Wisconsin at the moment is the winner today. And I'm sure it's a little bit cooler up there than it is down here today.
Oh, man.
Third and goal from
beautiful.
From the 12. The Pioneers will be unable to run the clock out at this point, so they'll have to run another play. And then at that point, if they don't score, it'd bring up a 4th down. Handoff to Ford, who falls forward for a few more yards down to the 10. Tacks on probably his final 2 yards of the game. And now it's really just up to the Pioneers whether they want to go forward on 4th down, tack on a field goal. All extracurricular at this point.
Or really just go into V and
take the 4th down victory formation, kneel down. As they will, as we mentioned in pregame, over the last 4 seasons, dating even back to 2020 with the abbreviated season, they've only been able to net exactly 2 wins in all those seasons. They've shown up different this year. They have put together a much different squad than they've had, have already had some really impressive wins under their belt, and they're going to make the long drive down to Waxahachie all worth it. Looking at what are the borderline final stats, we'll wait on this play. Doubling up the Lions with yards, 422 to 207. The rush yards really isn't, there's not much of a discrepancy there. Just 50 yards overall. But it's all about the passing yards. A very
3 big bombs.
Yep. It's an efficient day from Davian Guajardo, the definition of efficiency. 66.7%, 250 yards, 1 beautiful passing touchdown, a nice 21-yard rushing touchdown. Damon Ford, 90 yards rushing, 4.5 a carry. Sledgehammer type running game from him. And Josiah Barron goes over 100 yards again. Got your live look in there at the Montana battle. 17-14, Montana Western on top of Montana Tech in the 3rd quarter. Other updates from some of the games we talked about. Dickinson State runs away from it with Dakota State. Indiana Wesleyan blows out Marion.
Whoa.
77-21.
That's surprising.
So they will come out for the field goal. Another chance to warm up the leg of your kicker, Leo Marini. Never want to pass up a chance to let your college kicker get some confidence and add some points. That one is up and good to push this to a 20-point game. Pioneers on top 27-7. A 27-point run for the Pioneers. As we mentioned, not just that. Rougeau opened this game with a nice run to the outside, then split the middle of the Pioneers defense with an electric run down to the 1-yard line. Rose just kind of punches it in, and that's it. That's the last time the Lions scored. The last time they were ever truly within range. They never really, I don't think they encroached past the 40-yard line the rest of the game. Didn't have a ton of 3 and outs, always found a way to kind of pick up a 1st down or 2. But you look at the success right there. Obviously, Rougeau, nice day, 116 yards rushing. But Marvin Sanders, 4 rushes for just 2 yards. It was equally tough sledding for Kevian Rose. You can do the math in your head. 7 rushing yards for Rose. 116 for Rougeau, 2 for Sanders. That means there would have been 7 for Rose. Maybe actually less. I think he may have had 1 handoff to a wide receiver. So it may have actually been less than that for Rose. So the Wayland defense, after being kind of stunned out of the gate, show up and dominate, blanket every receiver, and don't allow another big play. Colby Tanner's going to get knocked down at the 21-yard line. And the Lions offense will take the field for the final play of the game. Oh, and you hate to see Tanner kind of limping to the sideline on a...
He took a tough hit.
Yeah.
He got stood up, and then another tackler came in and put a good wallop on him.
Yeah, I hope that's just pain at the end of a long, hard-fought football game and nothing worse. There's nothing more devastating than having an injury in a game that's a lost cause on a borderline meaningless last play. So the Lions will line up
against a Pioneers prevent defense.
And it will be a handoff. So there's some of those rushing yards. So it goes down. They're going to rule him down, thank goodness. So Marvin Sanders will we saw his stats a moment ago. A little bit of last-second whitewashing with a 27-yard run to end this game. But that will be all she wrote. The Pioneers come into Waxahachie and grind out a convincing 20-point win. For the Lions, it's your third loss in a row, and now you got a real tough turnaround going to play the Rams next week. It's all about this is what's going to test this young team. This is 4-game stretch. You look at the final 4 of the year, and there's some very winnable games in there. You can get back on track, but now you've got to control yourself and get back on track quickly.
Yeah, Tim. The writing on the wall is, hey, this is going to be a season. It's a season of change. You change your brand, your name. You change your coaching staff. A lot of good things to look to the future with. But and by no means will Jared Hudgen and team give up on this. But you lose your prevailing QB1, and now you're just trying to figure out how do we forward a game plan that we weren't expecting and make something out of it. And that is going to be the puzzle that is worked on this week. And, it's things like this in competitive sports happen. You're the adversity. And so this is going to be a good character-building year for every one of these young players and this young coaching staff to find something deep within and just maintain your competitive edge.
So taking a look at the scores, Langston has closed it back with Oklahoma Panhandle State. That was a 17-point game at one point. That's going to be a fight to the end. Checking in on the standings. And there is now Wayland will move to 3-2 overall. OPSU up there at 3-1. Chance to go to 4-1 if they can hold on against Langston. Nelson falls to 1-3 in conference, 2-3 overall. With a tough date with Destiny next week against Texas Wesleyan.
It's just like 25 miles down the street. So it's
at least you don't have to go far. You know exactly where they are. Our upcoming broadcast this Friday, Lady Lions Volleyball will take on OPSU at 7 p.m. And then another matchup against, this very same Wayland Baptist University, October 26th at 1 p.m. And then we are back here on November 2nd at 2 p.m. against Louisiana Christian for homecoming. I always say, in college football, whether you make it to the playoffs or not, you always get one championship game a year, and that's your homecoming game. and the Lions are going to get a chance to have a big one here. It's always a sold-out crowd, amazing atmosphere. We cannot wait for that one, so tune in. If you're in the area, come join us. You don't want to miss it. All upcoming broadcasts will be on the Nelson University Sports Network YouTube channel. Be sure and share the link with your family and friends. If you loved our broadcast and you're one of our Wayland listeners and watchers, be sure and give us a subscribe. We like to follow all of the NAIA, give you all the most up-to-date news. And hey, your school will be on our channel come next Saturday as well. You can find the broadcast highlights and shorts on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button and follow us across the channel. Again, your final score, the Wayland Baptist Pioneers 27 and your Nelson Lions 7. A reminder that 90% of the crew here at the Nelson University Sports Network is made up of college students here, both getting an education and true hands-on experience, and truly putting on not only the best broadcast in the NAIA, one of the best university-produced broadcasts in all of North American sports. I can say that because all I do is talk. They do all the work. So
you used to do the work.
That's been a long time. We want to thank them for their dedication, giving up their Saturdays, being out here, helping putting on a great show. So until November 2nd, I'm Tim Roberts alongside John Cookman sitting in today with all the genius takes. On behalf of our entire crew, so long from Waxahachie, Texas, and thank you as always for watching the Nelson University Sports Network.